Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about American Hustle. And this movie is directed by David O. Russell, and it came out in 2013 and stars Christian Bale, Jennifer Lawrence, Amy Adams, Bradley Cooper. And this movie was just on Netflix, and I was like, I've heard about this movie a little bit. As in, like, I didn't know much about it, I just know that it was like a popular movie that a lot of people seem to have watched. And I watched it, and I didn't have any expectations whatsoever. And it was fine. Like, production wise, you can feel as though they put a lot of effort into it in terms of like recreating the 70s. I really loved Christian Bale in the movie. I think he does a great job, and I was very convinced by his performance. And he's like the standout in the entire film. Like, without him, the movie wouldn't work, but he really does carry this movie, and he's really great. And everyone else is good in it too, and I didn't have a problem with anyone else's performance, except for Jennifer Lawrence. She was kind of annoying, and her character also is kind of annoying, like intentionally. She's written that way, but she's just not really given much to do, and I get that's kind of like the intention of the film, but at the same time, she doesn't really come across as a strong character or anything memorable to me, or anything that allows me to think about her in a way that I liked, not as in like a likable character, but or even like as an interesting character. On both of those levels, she just doesn't work for me. And the story here, it's a little messy at points, and I get it. I get what the movie's trying to go for. It's just that I don't really care about any of these characters, and I like the performances in this movie more than I like the characters in the movie. And there wasn't really any dialogue in the movie that I found to be memorable. And this movie really did feel as though like it was supposed to be like dialogue heavy, and you're supposed to just be engaged with the film with that alone. And at a couple points it does work, but for most of the movie it does not work. And there wasn't anything about this movie that was particularly bad. It was mostly just bland, and I really wished that there was a hook for me while watching the movie. And it just felt like a worse version of any great director that I can think of off the top of my head of one of their works, like Coen Brothers or Paul Thomas Anderson, Quentin Tarantino. Like, it felt like it was trying to be something along the style of those movies, but it just didn't have the elements that made those movies work for me. It had the performances, but it didn't really have much else to offer. This movie is almost 2.5 hours long, and it didn't need to be that long. And it's not that there were a whole lot of scenes that did not need to be in the movie at all. It was just that I didn't care about anything that was going on, and because of that, everything just felt really dragged out. And I thought the movie opened well, and you got a good feeling of like how everything works in the movie, and like character dynamics, and just some ideas that could make this interesting. And I don't know, there was something there in the opening scene for me, and I wasn't particularly bored. For that scene in particular, like I've said multiple times already, I did find this movie quite boring after 25 minutes, because at that point I stopped caring about what was going on. And at a certain point I kind of got back into it a little bit, but shortly after I was completely checked out, and I just wanted the movie to be over, and I was just waiting for something interesting to happen. And I was not surprised to discover that there was nothing interesting happening for the rest of the film. And as unsurprising as that was, I was also fairly disappointed, because for a movie that's over 2 hours long, you're for sure waiting for like, maybe this is building to something, or like maybe there's something within the remainder of the runtime that's going to make this better. Maybe there's going to be something. Unfortunately, that didn't happen, and overall, this is just a movie that did not connect with me, and I just couldn't get into it because I didn't like what was going on that much. It wasn't poorly made, it was just really bland and boring to me. And I've forgotten a decent amount of it after I finished it, and usually when that happens, it's a pretty bad sign that it's not the best movie ever made. Or not even that, not necessarily like a very good movie. So, unfortunately, I cannot recommend that you check this movie out. I didn't think it was particularly engaging. I know a lot of people seem to enjoy it, but it just didn't work for me. And if you like it, I'm glad that you like it. And with all that being said, I'm going to give American Hustle a 5 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below you thought of American Hustle, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Hard 8. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.